So you go to church?
Yeah, I do.
What type of church?
Assemblies of God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's we believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in Jehovah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we don't believe in images.
Could you go to a Catholic church?
No, I don't. Nope.
You go to church what day? Saturday or Sunday?
Well, actually, I go on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
So Wednesdays is for praying or for study?
Praying.
Uh-huh. Fridays praying?
Friday it's it's praying, and Sundays it's for studies.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
We all going to the same church.
Same church. Well, that's good actually. It's good to have the same, because life is short. Okay, we're gonna ask different people if they want the Haseres HaDibros. Hi, do you want the Haseres HaDibros?
No.
The Ten Commandments? We're asking all people.
I have it.
All nations. You have it? You keep everything?
I keep everything.
You have no other gods? I put on I wear tefillin. Ice. I have an ice on me.
No,
Yeah.
not ice.
You want to use? You need an account for that? I have an account for every day. You pay as you go?
No, I pay it every day.
You pay? Oh, you have the everyday one? You're in the area? You're a doctor here, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Where? Okay, how do we do Sheva Mitzvah L'Noach with people? We're getting an explanation from a doctor.
So first of all, you have to let them know that that all the mitzvahs that the Sheva B'nai Noach are ways for peace. It was given to Moshe Rabbeinu.
No. They know all that. Get to the point what the guy doesn't know yet that we're telling him, because they keep the Ten Commandments.
You have to.
They believe in the Ten Commandments.
So
you're going to go over to a guy that believes Ten Commandments and you're telling him, you know what? Keep 7. We're Reform. We're going to give you a discount. So are we altering the prayers like the Reform? We're altering the Siddur or alterations, or are we letting them keep 10? So how do we do it?
The 7, you got to tell them. Number 1, you have to respect the family. 1 woman for 1 man.
1 woman for 1 man is against the Hebrew Bible, but we'll try to convince them the modern Enlightenment context of Europe that it doesn't even fly in the face of.
You're right. What I'm trying to say is no adultery. No adultery.
You just preach romantic secularism in the 7 laws of Noah. We just sold Goyim romantic secularism in Hashem's holy ancient text.
That's one. Second thing.
So you're no more going to tell stick to 1 woman. That's against Hashem.
Yeah, no adultery.
What's adultery?
And also,
what is adultery?
If a woman is married, a man shouldn't go with another man's married wife. That's 1. Number 2.
Don't take a woman that belongs to a man, because then the man, if you're a man and you take a woman that belongs to another man, you can get killed. Adultery is a crime against the husband. Am I right, doctor?
Yeah, and that's 1. Number 2 that you want to tell them?
In a matriarch society, adultery is a crime against the wife. But in a male-created society, it's a crime against... I can't give them Sheva. I have to offer them the Torah first, because they say Hashem went around and gave them a chance. So you have to give the new people have a new chance.
You speak Spanish to them?
I spoke English.
Why you don't
I asked the Israeli guy if he wants the Torah. He said he doesn't believe in God, so it's not applies to him.
You have tefillin. You can put tefillin on them.
That's not what we're dealing. That's not what Shavuos is about. Tefillin is a ice. It's a ice. Tefillin is if you believe. No, don't cover the camera. Come on. She wants basically to take my 10 Commandments. Ooh, you're really tough on me. You're really tough on me. Yeah, now my daughter wants the Haseres HaDibros, and now she's gonna keep Shabbos, and we're all screwed. The whole family's going down the drain. So I got a nice 10 Commandments here with the whole kriya for the Shavuos. It's supposed to be like a kind of like a way that you can teach kids about the 10 Commandments in a modern take. So we're doing a little thinking. So we're I like the translation here. It's a wonderful Am Hashem your God, which he's not saying who. Hashem, who is this God? What's his name? Do not make or worship other gods. It could be money, shopping, alcohol. Do not swear in Hashem's name unnecessarily or falsely. well, unnecessarily is very interesting and falsely. Those can be argued. It's up to anybody's interpretation, which would leave a lot of room for fighting again. Honor and observe Shabbos. Well, that depends on what a person considers honoring and observing. Honor your father and mother. Do not murder. Do not dishonor marriage. Now, this is a great story that just happened this week. Local shliach advised someone to leave his wife because she's not frum. She's not shemer Torah mitzvahs, and really he doesn't know if she's frum or not because she doesn't flaunt it. She's a respectable woman. She doesn't. She's not a sucker, a spiritual sucker, and a sucker for groups. So if she keeps Shabbos and kosher, it's a private matter for her. It's not something she would try to look. No. For all intents and purposes, for you, I'm secular, right? So he advises the man to leave his wife, and this is something that he always believed. He just never had the guts to say it. And this is a revelation of his thoughts and his indoctrination. So I explained to the shliach that we are a religion of paskim and halacha. We're not a religion of feelings and hergish. So if one solitary person's beliefs doesn't constitute a religion, it has to be a social belief system. Like if one guy believes the Rebbe's Mashiach, it's nothing. If everyone believes it, then it becomes legitimate. Then George Rohr comes and he says, wow, this is a legitimate thing. Lots of people are waiting in line for dollars. Doesn't matter if there's magic or not, but the fact is that it's an organized set of a system. It's an organized group. You have membership, you have people who are committed. The shuls in Manhattan have no commitment. Ask Josh Metzger. People come, they make a bar mitzvah, and they never show up again. So the Rebbe had a legitimate business going. So, the beautiful translation that you have here from the virtual Torah is, do not dishonor marriage. So if that, what the shliach was saying, is not considered dishonoring marriage and being cruel to people, and you can even consider it murder. Some people have take their lives when they're thrown on the streets and stuff like that. So if that's not considered dishonoring marriage, what is? A personal story I had when I went, there was a young guy who would put tefillin on with me. He was a Moroccan-American Jewish boy. He said to me, I don't believe in superstition, but I respect you, and you always put on tefillin. And I would come and visit, and I'd get closer to him, and he would become more friendly, and then finally he was never interested in getting married, because he was like a playboy. He had a very big enterprise business, so he always had, girls like lining up, so he never fell in love. Or he never cared for it, for marriage. So one time he fell on a girl named Liz. She was a Catholic, and Liz seemed to be a very good idea. So we had a class with Manis Friedman when we were young and impressionable, naive boys in yeshiva, and he explained to us, or he taught that marriage was a religious thing, and if he was intermarrying with a girl not of his faith, it's not considered a marriage, because marriage has to be by religion. So I went and I repeated this nonsense to him, feeling that I'm close enough to him, and of course in a modern context you have to be friendly, but back in the day, or in the Arab countries, you just send religious police and they enforce the law. So it's a poor boy's mindset. I had always a poor boy's mindset. I didn't have in some ways I had a very good, sometimes a clever mindset, but the poor boy believes in the religion, and he actually risks his own success. So I went to him and said this to him in front of her. I said, this is not considered marriage, and so on. So he went ahead and got married in the Catholic Church, because he figured, wait, if this one religion doesn't accept it, the other religion does. So it was this cruel nonsense that I repeated. It's not a wealthy shliach mindset. A successful shliach would not do that. He would say, we could wait. We'll wait for Hashem or something. He's clever. He doesn't lose his, this is a best friend, that's your best supporter, so to speak. So, but again, it had nothing to do with it. The fact is, it's not true. It's cruel, and it's also not true. And these laws were also not there to protect the woman. These are adultery is a crime against the husband. But I do appreciate that he's writing it in a modern context. He's saying, do not dishonor marriage. It's not the ancient law where the husband can have as many wives and he can cheat, and there's no saita warning against the husband, right? There's only a saita warning system against the wife. It's not that the rabbis didn't respect the women. The rabbis were interpreting a biblical text, and they were trying to make it impossible to actually fulfill this biblical text by making it impossible, the whole system, because they understood these were ancient laws that were not didn't fit the society of Jews at the time, when Judaism was looked at like a philosophy, and it was gaining a lot of converts. The Adi Abini family coming to Jerusalem, so on and so forth.
For the Ten Commandments, a modern take on some ancient laws. A cartoon by the madcap artist Gahan Wilson once appeared in Playboy magazine. In it, a group of people in elaborate vestments bowed and worshipped before an enormous letter N. The caption read, "Nothing is sacred." If anything is still widely considered sacred today, presumably it is the Ten Commandments. Two cases that attracted wide media attention in America recently gave proof of that perception. First, the state legislature in Tennessee attempted to pass a law requiring that the Ten Commandments be posted on the walls of all public buildings, including courts and schoolrooms. Then in Alabama, a judge was told to remove a plaque featuring the Ten Commandments from his courtroom wall. When he refused, the judge became a hero to thousands of people. The state's governor, throwing his support behind the judge, threatened to call out the militia to defend the judge's right to post the commandments. While the sacredness of the Ten Commandments has always been held up as central to American law and virtue, peoples through the centuries have done a pretty poor job when it comes to obeying them. Even Israel's greatest national hero, King David, didn't fare too well when it came to following the commandments. He broke the Sabbath rule at least once, as Jesus also later does, and he murdered, committed adultery, and coveted. God struck many people dead. Onan and the people of Sodom come to mind for much less grievous sins. With that in mind, take a closer look at the Ten Commandments and see just how well modern society does in observing this basic, presumably immutable set of rules. First of all, most people would be hard-pressed to name all 10. In his book, Sources of Strength, Jimmy Carter cites the man who thinks the seventh commandment is, "Thou shalt not admit adultery." The fact is that most of the adulation given to the Ten Commandments is little more than lip service. The version previously mentioned is the King James Version, the most commonly known Christian translation. Besides changing the order of the Hebrew commandments, the authorized version mangled some of the ancient Hebrew words, and more faithful translations show some interesting and very significant differences, especially regarding the sixth commandment against killing, and the substitution of impassioned God for jealous God in the second commandment. 1. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Interesting. God didn't say, I am the only God, but rather that he is number one. God doesn't even say, don't worship any other God, only not to put another God before him. This is a reflection of the times and circumstances. The tribes of Israel were wanderers in lands of many gods: Canaanite, Egyptian, Mesopotamian. Moving into the promised land, they confronted the fertility cult gods of Canaan, including the creator god El, whose name was adapted by the Hebrews, the notorious storm god Baal, and his numerous consorts, including Asherah and Astarte. We have come to take for granted the idea that Judaism invented the notion of one God right from the start. But the original conception of Israel's Yahweh was the greatest among many, and only over time did Yahweh evolve into the one God, meaning the only God.
ניקח מהר סוכה נבנה לה 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 La 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 la. Nani, 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 na na na.